New York Giants fans, I know that everybody is hearing all of the stuff that's being taught by Denver Broncos fans, but I'm not really here for that because trash talk is going to be trash talk. And not for nothing, Giants fans have been talking greasy too. What I do want to get into is what is this season supposed to be? Because if there are going to be expectations for this season, then I need you all to follow suit and hold people accountable. I'm Coach Gene Clemons, and I have a giant issue. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of A Giant Issue. I am Coach Gene Clemons. New York Giants on that side. That's where you go and get all of your New York Giants news and information. Make sure you go hit that up. Would love to see you over there reading everything that we talked about. I've got a piece out right now on the one person that you should steal from the Denver Broncos and bring them over to the New York Giants. Go and check that out. Make sure you check out everything that we've got going on at the New York Giants on SI because it's important, right? Patronize. We always appreciate it. I wanted to go there and I wanted to start with kind of breaking down what I see as this matchup. But I also just have some thoughts, right? I'll start here. I think this is a bad matchup for the Giants, right? Not because I don't think the Giants can win. But I think that there's a potential for things to go bad with this matchup. I'll explain what I mean. The strength of the Denver Broncos is their ability to get after the quarterback and their ability to cover. The strength of the New York Giants right now is their quarterback's ability to extend plays and/or to take off running. But we've seen Denver have a game plan for stopping quarterbacks who can run and make things happen with their legs. Denver is the best team in the NFL at corralling and bottling up quarterbacks who like to use their legs as a means to get them where they want to be as passers, as runners, to help the team continue to move these things in the right direction. So I am concerned. And the reason why I'm concerned, when they have an educated rush for Jaxson Dart, this is what it's going to look like. They're going to rush their rush lanes, right? Those guys that are the edge rushers, they're not going to go wild and crazy in there. They're going to control rush up the field, but not past Jaxson Dart. The guys who are rushing up the middle, they're going to create their lanes, but they're going to make sure that Jaxson Dart, if he wants to run, has one place to run to. And when he picks that one place to run to, there's going to be a defender there waiting for him because they're going to spy Jaxson Dart. This is just what I believe they'll do. And I think that can create a lot of problems for Dart. Here's why. Dart likes to extend passing plays. So if he doesn't see it quickly, he's going to move around in the pocket, try to run and extend the play to get the ball off. That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to hold the ball. They want you to think that you got it. You know why? Because the secondary of Denver is really, really good. And so they can cover for longer than the average team can cover for. It doesn't mean you can't complete passes on them. It means that it's more difficult. If you try to throw timing routes, they are hella aggressive on the wide receivers. They've got the best defensive back in the game, arguably one of the best defensive players in the game. So they're going to be hella aggressive on the line of scrimmage with the receivers. They're going to be able to stick with those receivers longer, which means they're going to get Jaxson Dart holding the ball. Now, here is how you combat that. This is how the Giants can get over. It has to be a consistent effort or a concerted effort to run the ball. And if you can stay ahead of the chains running the ball, then you can neutralize what they're able to do because they have to worry about you running it. Easier said than done. Denver's not Rudy Poo when it comes to it, but that's how you have to do it. You're not going to be able to have Jaxson Dart run all around the place and make plays. I just don't see that as the recipe for success. If it happens, then great. We'll be over here talking on Monday about how proud we are of Jaxson Dart being able to make that happen. I just don't believe that that's going to be his path to success. And that's why this matchup, scares me. Now, with that being said, I believe that the defensive front for the Giants has the ability to do the exact same thing to Jaxson Dart, not Jaxson Dart, to Bo Nix, who is not having a good season. He's not having a great season at all, right? They probably should be undefeated. The reason that they're not undefeated probably lays at the feet of Bo Nix. So, he can be had. And I think that the game plan that you put in place for Jaxson Dart is the same game plan that you put in place for Bo Nix. We're going to control rush him. We're going to make him flush to one place. And when he tries to flush to that place, we're going to have somebody waiting for him in. Right? That's how it's got to be done. This defensive front, when they get in trouble, is when they lose lane integrity and they allow quarterbacks to just skate. But whenever they're able to keep lane integrity, right, and just almost smother the quarterback with the collapsing pocket, they're going to have success. So that's what I need to see them do versus Denver. I think they can have success getting Bo Nix flustered, being hella aggressive with wide receivers who are not fast enough to just run by them, right? I think that's a recipe for success. So this game is winnable, but it's going to be difficult. If I had to handicap this game, I would handicap the game Denver -6. It doesn't mean that I don't think the Giants can win. I just think that if they get down, there can be a snowball effect, which we saw what happened in New Orleans. I don't think it'll be to that extreme because I think that is an extreme, right? But there could be a snowball effect where when Jaxson Dart has to start pressing, is it going to be bad or is it going to be good? Is he prone to more mistakes when he tries to press? Yes. Is Cam Scatterbo prone to more mistakes when he has to press? Yes. So we want to keep them out of situations where they're pressing, and I think that there can be success. Now, while I say all that, I then turn the conversation back to you as fans, to you as supporters of the New York Giants. Are you trying to win? Do you want to win? The New York Giants are 2-4 right now. There is no reason why the New York Giants could not make a run for a playoff berth. But the question becomes, are you trying to win or are you not? The New York Giants, they have Malik Neighbors, who's gone for the season. They have Darius Slayton, who's out right now. Don't know when he'll be back. Right? They've got Wan'Dale Robinson, and then they got a bunch of dudes. And while LaJordan Humphrey played well in the last game, making some big catches, but drawing some penalties, right? So there have been talks about going out and acquiring wide receiver talent. And I've heard mixed reviews on it. I've heard people say, yeah, we should go out and find a wide receiver. But then in the same breath, I hear people say, yeah, but we don't want to give up too much in the draft. We don't want to give up a second-round pick for a wide receiver because, you can get someone just as good in the draft. Says who? Oh, we don't want to give up a 5th-round pick for a wide receiver because we've seen what some of the 5th-round picks have turned into for the Giants. Yeah, and none of those guys are stars. None of those guys are due to you build a franchise around. Like, what are we talking about? You're not building a franchise around a Theo Johnson or a Cam Scatabo or any of like no, we're not doing that. Right? So it makes me wonder, like, are we are people all in on like trying to win, or do they just want to be competitive? And Cam Scatabo went in the fourth round, by the way. But you get what I'm saying, right? Um, are people all in on winning, or are they all in on just being competitive and not giving up assets because we're already looking to 2026? And if the answer is, hey, we're already looking to 2026, you know my response. That's a miserable existence. You're 6 games into the year, and now every time your team wins, you're going to be upset because that means you don't get a higher draft pick. Like y'all know that's the result, right? Like that's what happens. Is if you start down this, we're just trying to get to 2026, then you're going to get to the point where you don't want this team to win, and you're actively going to root for the team to lose. There are 11 games remaining in this season. What a miserable existence to have if that's what you're trying to do. I don't understand it. So really, when I say, are you trying to win? I'm saying, what are you doing to help your team get to the wins? If you think your team needs help in the back end at safety, why are there not moves being made? If you think you're too thin at linebacker, why are there not moves being made? If you think you need another wide receiver, why are there not moves being made? What are you waiting on? Because every loss, you get closer and closer to the inevitable. And that is, now we're playing for 2026. And if you're playing for 2026 right now, that's a miserable existence to have. But in 5 more weeks, if you're 2-3 in those 5 games, and now you're 4-7 on the season, are you playing? Are you trying to win? Or are you just trying to make it look good and get to 2026? If you get a few more weeks in and you're 6 and 6-8, right? You're 6-8. You've got 3 games remaining. 3 wins gives you a 9-win season, but may not give you a place in the playoffs. If you get 3 wins, you go 9-8. 8-9 with 2 wins. Are you not in favor of the team fighting to get those 2 wins, because that's going to drop you in the draft? See, this is what we dealt with last year, where I believe it was 6 games in, people were ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And then the rest of the season was just this fight between fans that wanted to try to see the Giants win and fans that were actively rooting for their team to lose. And excuse me, even if I'm not a fan, I don't want to see the Giants lose. I've told you guys, it's much more fun on this side for me off of a win. Not only can I celebrate the win, but I can be critical about the things that the team needs to get better at. It's the best of both worlds. It's the best of both worlds, but it's only the best of both worlds if there's winning involved. If we're playing for 2026, if that's the plan, if the Giants are just trying to get to 2026 and get the best draft pick available for 2026, then what is there for us to really talk about each and every game? All we can do is sit back and ridicule, not praise, because it's going to be a loss. Are we going to sit and every week talk about how good or how positive Jaxson Dart was if you're losing every game? How can you be sure that Jaxson Dart is your guy if your team loses every single week and he's the starter? See, because the best quarterbacks, the quarterbacks that are them, they play above the scheme, and therefore they're responsible for the wins and the losses. If they play well, the team wins. If the team doesn't play well, but they play well, the team wins. If they don't play well and the team plays well, they might win. But if they don't play well and the team is just okay, they're losing. So, like, there's a world I can see where we're losing every game. The Giants are losing every game. And yet, all I hear is people heaping praise on Jaxson Dart. Oh, well, he needs this. Like, I've heard people saying that the Giants need to go all in on the offensive line. I don't know what that means. You have a former first round pick that you're not even dressing for games after moving him to guard, only to watch the guy who you brought in off the street to play center move to guard out there not being particularly great at guard. Jermaine Illuminor not having the season this year that he had last year. And I'm saying that with everything in front of them. You've got Marcus Bo. So if you're thinking about it like I'm thinking about it, right? And Evan Neal is gone after this season. Doesn't matter. I was on record as saying I don't think it mattered what he did, that he was going to be gone, because if he had success, they weren't going to want to pay him. And if he doesn't have success or doesn't get the opportunity, then they were going to get rid of him. So if that's the case, right, why is Evan Neal still on this team? Why is he wasting a roster spot? Are you trying to win? Because he's not even the backup guard. He's not even the swing guard. That's Aaron Stinney. Aaron Stinney is the backup guard. Aaron Stinney is the guy that they're using as the extra tight end when they want to go with a heavy personnel package. They're not even using Evan Neal for that. And that, to me, seems like a perfect way to get him on the field next to Andrew Thomas and collapse the defensive line. But they're not even doing that. So if you're not playing him and you're not even dressing him, then why is he on this team? I would love for someone to answer that question for me. Because it's not like the rookie wage scale means that you just can't move on from a contract. It's easy to move on from the rookie contract. It's not like you're paying him the 5th-year option money, because you're not. Why not get something for him instead of allowing him to just walk in free agency? You're not going to franchise tag him. So what are we doing? Right? Why is Evan Neal here? Hey, we saw a little bit from Jalen Hyatt, but not enough. If Jalen Hyatt isn't the guy that comes out, if you have to go and get LaJordan Humphrey, why is Jalen Hyatt on this team? Why are you holding on to him? Get rid of him and get someone else. Are you trying to win? Or are you just trying to be competitive? Because right now, I don't know the answer to that. I don't even know the answer to what fans want. Like right now, if I told you, hey, you can make the playoffs, go out in the first round, or you can lose everything and I'll guarantee you the number 1 overall pick. Which one are you choosing? This isn't even a great draft for quarterbacks. Everyone sold y'all the the bill of goods that the 2026 class was supposed to be all world. They're not. They're not at all. They're nowhere near last year's class. They're nowhere near Jaxson Dart's class. Jaxson Dart in that class would be QB number 1, and it wouldn't even be close. Shedeur Sanders, QB number 1. Cam Ward, QB number 1. Everybody that they thought were better than these guys, hell, Dylan Gabriel might be QB number 1 in that draft class. All of the guys that they thought would be the one, the man, they're all just milk. They're all just warm, lukewarm milk. That's it. Not nothing. The dynamic quarterbacks all have flaws that you guys have shown you're not willing, not you guys, but the NFL, excuse me. The NFL and its teams have shown that they're not always willing to work on and develop. The guys that everybody thought would be can't miss first rounders, none of them are gamers. None of them seem to have that it that people think Jaxson Dart has. So it's, do you go like that's what I'm saying. Like, all of the things that we thought were going to be what it is, they're not. So now I ask you again, are you trying to win? Because if I gave you that option of first round of the playoffs, but you're going to lose, or you get the first overall pick, but you've got to lose every game to get it, I think some of you guys are picking the first round draft pick. I mean, the number 1 overall draft pick. I think, right? I think that some of you would, and that's sad. Because I'm picking the first round exit. Because at least I was there. And if I'm there, that means that I'm moving in the right direction towards the goal, and the goal should be Super Bowl. If the goal isn't Super Bowl, we're not talking the same language. It's Super Bowl or it's nothing. Right? It's, I'm trying to get to the Super Bowl or I'm not. And if I'm making the playoffs, then guess what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get to the Super Bowl. The Rams gave away all their draft picks in order to win a Super Bowl. And then 2 years later, they were right back good again. They had a fall off year afterwards because the bill came due for all of those people and not having draft picks. And then 2 years later, they were right back to the business. Philadelphia makes moves every single year that people don't think they have the money to make. And yet they keep doing it. Why? They're trying to win. The ones that aren't trying to win, those are the ones who are selling off their assets. Oh, well, we got something for them in return. I'm not telling you to sell off assets. I'm telling you to flip people who are not helping you win games into people who can help you win games. I'm flipping a Devin Singletary into some special teamer that can come out here and be a real factor for me on my special teams. I'm not going to put Devin Singletary as a kick returner when he's never been a kick returner in his entire life, when that's not what he's ever done. When you put Deonte Banks back there to be a returner, and he does decently, but he doesn't know how to block because he's never been on those types of things as blockers, then you get mad at him because he didn't block anybody. Well, where did he learn how to block from? Nobody asks these questions. They just assume that football players can do everything because they're in the NFL. No. A heart surgeon is not going to be able to tell you how to treat a busted up knee. The same way that an orthopedic surgeon, you don't want working on your heart. Yeah, but they're all doctors, right? They're all doctors. And yet we don't want the pediatricians treating adults. And we don't want the adult physicians treating kids. So why is it in this profession do we just automatically assume that because someone does X, they should be able to do Y? I'm not standing pat. I'm going out and getting another wide receiver. I know people were talking about certain wide receivers and how, number one, some of these wide receivers they're talking about getting, nobody has ever said that the team wanted to get rid of them. Nobody's ever said that Miami wants to get rid of Jalen Waddle. Yet all I keep hearing is about Jalen Waddle. I've never heard anyone say anything about getting rid of Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed in New Orleans. So why are we talking about New Orleans trading the Giants, Olave, and Rashid Shaheed? Doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. When you really think about it, that doesn't compute. What we want to do is we want to create environments. We want to create environments where players who are on other teams go to their agents and say, hey, get me to that team. Get me to that team. That's what you hope Jaxson Dart can be. You hope Jaxson Dart can be that quarterback that receivers are willing to swallow their pride for. Right? That's what you hope. But that's not what we get all the time. Most of the time we don't. We just get losing for the sake of losing, and then we get unimaginative people afraid to make trades in the middle of the season. Move to improve. It's always the adage. You gotta move to improve. You can't stay in the same place and expect to get better. You gotta move in order to improve. I don't see where the moving is for the Giants. I hope so, but I haven't seen it yet. And I don't hold out. I'm not going to hold out for hope. I'm just going to wish that they do something. Right? Because why not? You're 2-4. Why not? Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I have today. New York Giants on that side. That's where you got all the New York Giants news and information. Make sure you check that out. Go over to the New York Giants on that side. Check out all the stuff I have going on. Come over to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Check out the Big Blue Breakdown, Paul Dottino. Check out what I'm doing over here as well with a Giant issue. Join me at halftime this Sunday. I'll be back with another Giant issue live. Until next time, I'm Coach Gene Clemons, and I've got a Giant issue.